What up, everybody? Shout out to the homies. This is an impromptu video. However, I've been meaning to get back to, and I want to get back to dropping more videos more consistently. With this one, I do want to address something that I think has come up a couple times on the homies hub and things like that, and with a lot of like older gentlemen that have worked hard and retired in the matrix. They don't necessarily believe that moving overseas as a young dude is a smart idea, right? They don't think it's smart. They don't really think it's wise and things like that. And I just wanted to address that. So in particular, one comment left from today's live stream that has really prompted this video. And I think it's a good thing to talk about, right? With all due respect, obviously he's an older cat. He says he's 51 years old, and basically he does not believe that my method of breaking out of the matrix, he says there's no way to cheat the system, right? So let's read his comment. 99% of the visitors to Thailand are retired expats who have worked their entire lives and are now retired and financially secure, living stress-free. But lately, we are seeing a surge of young online YouTubers who don't want to work traditional jobs in the States and pay their dues the old-fashioned way. I'm personally 51 and I wouldn't dare to leave the States without a guaranteed income. You younger YouTubers are essentially playing now, but will pay later in life. I know it feels cool to be on camera in Thailand with all those working girls, eating, smoking, and drinking, but you guys are going to pay a heavy price later in life. This American workforce is not going to be easy coming back to after being a struggling YouTuber in a red light district. The American system has and always will remain. You will work hard every day from 18 to 65. Then you retire with a 401k, pension, which he spelled wrong, Social Security, and there is no cheat code to the system. It's the best system ever created. At that point, I thought he was trolling, but he's dead. Like, he's dead serious. It is the best system ever created. This passport travel space YouTube movement is a distraction to get young black men off their path. Most of these guys' videos are filled with hookers, alcohol, and excessive spending. The Homies Hub is about to lead many young black men to a life of poverty that they will never be able to become expats when they get the proper age. Even if you are personally successful with your plan, you still have led tons of your subscribers to unrealistic dreams and financial ruin. Nobody in real life travels the world full time, not even multi-millionaire CEO. Even they are busy at work every day, making their investor stock value increase. Wow. Couple points to address there. So shout out to you, whoever you are. I think his name is KP Chang 12. At KP Chang 12, I think I've seen him on my channel a couple times before. But let me just address this. If you're not already a member of the Homies Hub, make sure that you tap in at thehomieshub.com and get exclusive access to videos, our Discord, and opportunities that I send to the homies. You don't want to miss out on what's really going on behind the scenes. Tap in. Number one, the American system in capitalistic wise is good for business owners. It's good for people that own a business, sell a product, or sell a service. It is not ideal for the traditional working person. In case you don't know, I'm just going to give a background on myself. I'm college educated. I have my bachelor's degree. I have not yet pursued my master's. It's possible that I will, possible I won't. It's not really necessary at this point in time. Because just the name of the game of the landscape has totally changed. The entire landscape has changed, right? So a lot of people are having to return back to work after the age of 65 because their pension or their social security isn't paying out as much as they need for them to actually live. There's actually studies on this that they actually have a reintroduction into the workforce program coming for people that have already retired because they relied 100% on the system, right? Having a pension, having something that pays, that is going to pay into, and things like that. But what people are not paying attention to is the numbers. They're not crunching the numbers. And this is what happens when you are fully indoctrinated into the system. You don't realize that the system is meant to pull every ounce of human capital out of your spirit, even when you are already over the age, right? So because more people are living longer, they continue to pull back or basically add more years to that limit. So by the time I'm actually 65, my retirement age might be 70, right? So things are actually changing. I know when I was working in law enforcement, the retirement term was about 20 years. I think now it's between 25 and 30 years at this point in time. So even though I would have a pension, when you do the math, how much is going to be in my pension, right? Versus what I could do if I actually were to spend the youthful years of my life taking real chances. Now, with that being said, I want to just bring this up too. Number one, I don't encourage anybody to just move overseas to try to make it happen. You need to have a plan. A lot of people can't pull off the shit I did. I had a plan to come overseas with 30K, 40K saved, things paid off because I had real app ideas and businesses I was trying to get off the ground. Unfortunately, things didn't pan out the way that I wanted them to pan out at that point in time. But I've been able to sustain myself through YouTube and my business and my companies and continue to grow them, right? When I encourage people to come overseas, I encourage people to get themselves into tech, like get a tech job. Don't just start a tech business because it's not that easy. I'm fortunate to be able to be growing my tech business. It's really not that easy to do, but I've relocated because it cuts my costs. So my operating costs in the States would be much higher than what they would be for me here in Thailand. I don't know if you guys caught my earlier stream, but if you guys watch some of my streams, I talk about how much I get some of my apartments for. I'm getting apartments for $250 a month, $500 a month. Some of these apartments I could just turn into an office, you know what I mean? And I can work out of this office. I just need good Wi-Fi, some good internet, and be able to basically contact clients, deliver services, and get paid. Everyone can't do that. So I encourage people to get a job, land a job, and make sure their job allows them to work remote. But if it doesn't, that's fine. There's ways that you can get around that. But it doesn't just end or start and end with your income, right? If you have excess income, the excess income should be used to, number one, pay down your debts. Make sure that you are paying down your debt so that you are debt free at the end of your term or however long you're staying abroad. Number two, take the excess money you're able to save, hold some of it in cash, and I always tell people put at least 15% of what you were able to save inside of some kind of investment. Whether you put that into a Roth IRA, a 401k, pay into something that is going to compound throughout time. So by the time you were at retirement age, you have real money saved up. This is shit your safe job is already doing for you. But they're going to do what's in their best interest. They're not going to do what's in your best interest. So because you might not be educated enough to know how to play with your money when you're overseas, don't say the Homies Hub is going to lead people down the wrong path. I talk about this all the time. If you're going to be a digital nomad, you're trying to become self-sufficient. Telling people to rely on the system that's going to basically steal the prime years of their life from 18 to 65, and there's no way around it. There are tons of people, CEOs like the ones that you were mentioning, that didn't want to work that type of job. They figured something out. So not only with AI automation, three different things, by the way, are taking people's jobs and making people have to go work in lower end jobs or job stack, doing Lyft type of jobs or Amazon warehouse type of jobs or just quick jobs that they can get because, simply because the job market is being automated away. The only way that you're going to be able to stay on top of the job market is you need to constantly be improving your skills. You need to constantly be improving your education, and you need to really be maximizing your network because that's actually now how people are getting jobs. A good portion of jobs that are posted are not actually looking to hire anybody. They're really just being posted for the optics of the company, and they plan to hire in-house anyway. So you're going to need to network to be able to know someone that needs a role filled so that you can get the salary you need just for you to be able to pay down your debts and your bills, especially if you went to college like myself and you acquired debt. Now, debt is growing, jobs are slowing, cost of living is rising. What makes the most pragmatic sense if you were somebody that you know that there is an opportunity for you that you could take advantage of because you were educated enough or skilled enough to do so? Why would you not go overseas? A lot of people are relocating themselves overseas because they're thinking about how much money they can save. Social media and YouTube is not going anywhere. Y'all were saying this shit years ago. All these influencers and all this other stuff, they're gonna lose all this money. Niggas ain't losing a lot of money. The influencers that were smart and didn't blow all their money buying and chasing luxury items, they took that money and invested into businesses that's now carrying them off into other ventures, right? They sold off things. They're being promoted through things. We're watching social media influencers become the next billionaires because they are taking advantage of several markets that a lot of people are not paying any attention to. Advertising, which is a big one. I want to say that's probably all of it. Advertising. Advertising isn't going anywhere. YouTubers, the reason why YouTubers make money is because we contribute to the Google advertisement, Google AdSense ecosystem. That means that as you're watching this video, you either encountered an ad at some point in time, right? You either encountered some kind of advertisement at the start of the video, in the middle of the video, or even right now as I'm speaking, because businesses need to promote themselves to get in front of customers, because business has always been how humans have stabilized themselves since the beginning of time. Okay, I call it a bartering system. Being able to barter with someone else is how we have been able to live since the beginning of time. You having a pension and a social security is a construct that is new in the last 100 years. That construct can easily wipe away faster than somebody learning how to do business, B2B. How does being a YouTuber and an influencer work, right? I don't get paid shit through AdSense. Most of my money comes through the donations, in terms of YouTube, comes from the donations from my supporters. My supporters like my content. They like the platforms I build. They like the things that I'm doing to try to improve their lives outside of just showing them content, right? And they donate. I probably make 3 to 4 times more off of donations than I do off of AdSense. But with AdSense, I am able to advertise things. Because I have an audience, I'm able to advertise the things that actually would help people. I advertise my music, that gets sales. I advertise consultations, that gets sales. I advertise my skill set. People contact me for consultations, or they contact me because they need things built for them, right? I get recommended to things because I'm advertising myself. This is how the world works. So if I have an audience, what I can offer a business is advertising. And now I can go direct to business and say, hey, I could feature you in the next 10 of my videos if you could pay me this much. And now that I live overseas, and something like rent for an apartment is $250 per month, I am now making way more money than my cost of living, which gives me excess cash and capital, which most Americans in America don't have. Do you know like less than 30% of Americans have $1,000 in their bank account right now? Are you aware that that's what's going on in America? I would argue that the daily American has just as much spending capital per capita, meaning in terms of where they're located, as people in third world countries. I say that to say I could see a person in a third world country go out to eat and drink and fuck off every single day, and they will still have money, even though they're struggling, the same way an American would. You would think living inside of America, people would be better off, but they're not. People's debts are going to eat them up. People are foreclosing on homes because they cannot afford their mortgages. There's a lot of financial shit going on. It's really financial irresponsibility because the very system that you are upholding, that you believe a man needs to work from 18 to 65, is literally bankrupting its own people because it cannot afford to pay its own debts. Not to mention that the USA is over $30 trillion in debt. So what are we talking about at this point in time? What are we really talking about, right? We're talking about freedom. We're talking about analyzing the problem and the beast that's at home and coming up with a real solution. A lot of you guys don't have real solutions. You're not even aware that a lot of this shit is going on. There's over $1 trillion in college debt. Most college educated students are not able to land a job at the level of education they have. I am a prime example of that. Which is the reason why I went into law enforcement. Nothing I would ever do. Thank God I wasn't a cop, but that was nothing I would ever do or have thought I would be doing in my life. But I needed the money. I needed the money. And even that is a whole story in itself in terms of being black and working in that kind of system when you're not about to bend to the system, right? That's a whole story in itself. I got tired of people playing with me. Some people playing with me, the system's playing with me. I had a lot of options. I could have pulled a Franklin Saint and started thinking about ways I was going to illegally break out of the system, or start thinking about ways I could become a global citizen, looking at ways that I could benefit. I could start businesses now with the extra capital, pay down debt with the extra capital, take the extra capital and put it into cryptocurrency, put it into investments, put it into this, put it into that, set myself up where I am more financially liberated. I have more cash on hand than I would have any other time. I was working a government job. I was making anywhere between $6,000 to $7,000 per month prior to taxes. And I still would not have enough cash on hand because of just because of my cost of living. Moving overseas, there is never a time I have under $1,000 in my bank account. If I ever get less than $1,000 in my bank account, I will literally start panicking. But this was a daily occurrence as somebody with a government job making good money, right? Supposed to be secure, got a pension, right? As soon as something happened to me, or I get into any situation where I am not able to fully clock in and work my job or whatever the situation is, I literally went through the worst downfall a man could go through, from owing rent, owing car note, not having money for this, not having money for that, not having money for that, right? A lot of bullshit. I'm not even able to save money for a rainy day, versus now I have a lot of money to save for a rainy day. I could put money in this account. I could put money in that account. I could put money in different places where I could virtually watch it grow, and then I could enjoy this every single day. I'm sorry that you guys have been stuck in the system. The prime years of your life you gave to a job that virtually, gave you a thank you for your service cake, one candle in it, and gave you a nice little pension that, Lord knows if that's going to mean anything for you in the next 15 years. But I figured out a way to beat the system. It doesn't mean I'm going to be successful, but my trajectory is I can be successful. I can be successful. And that's not to say I won't return to America. It's not to say I won't have business in America. Of course, America is the greatest country on the planet right now. But to limit myself to America and its system, absolutely not. If you guys enjoyed this video, thank you for rocking out with me. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you join the Discord and support the Homies Hub initiative. I am working on turning the Homies Hub into a social media platform. Video, post, education, a real community built for men to have these conversations on multiple levels. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Peace.